Hi there, Rod Fraser here from Business Growth Strategies. Thanks for joining me today. You know, I've worked with professional services and business owners of professional services for years, and what I've discovered is that people who sell services, sell professional services, don't like to sell. And guess what? I'm with you. I don't like selling either. And so what I discovered years ago was it's much easier to help a client to buy instead. So what do I mean by that? So it really flips it around 180 degrees, and takes all the pressure off you, because when you're selling, people expect you to present, to go in and say, okay, show me all your wares. And you know, you can also fall into the trap of simply asking people what they want, which is their perceived need, as opposed to what could potentially be their real need, and simply transactionally serve that perceived need, gather the information and serve that need. And yet what happens is that, you know, you don't feel like you've really served them well, and you haven't really tapped into the sort of work that you'd love to tap into. You haven't been able to build the value in their mind. And at the same time, for the client, they're dissatisfied because they're sort of getting what they think they need, but it's not what they really need. Um, and so I learnt this years ago when I read a fantastic book called Why We Buy by Paco Underhill. And Paco Underhill was a time-lapse photographer, an anthropologist who really looked at the way that people buy and how they interacted with space. And one of the things he discovered was it was so important for people to have a landing strip to come into a business of any description, including a service. Now, that aside, once you've got past the rapport and the niceties, isn't it much easier to go to asking for permission to ask questions rather than simply coming up with answers and hoping that the client has questions? Well, here's the Mexican standoff. The clients don't know the questions to ask, and you're waiting for them to ask them, and you're not giving them the questions they need to ask. And so I would suggest helping people to buy is really discovering what they know, what they think they need, and then taking them on a journey to discover what they really need. Really unpacking where the edges of their knowledge are, the things that they know, the things that they don't know. It'll make a massive difference to you to be able to do that. It will take all the pressure off you, and it just allows you to co-create with the client, to explore, to work out what's going to work best for them. But also, here's the really important piece. It helps you help them to discover what they really need, to go on a journey and discover what's possible, and then step back and go, okay, now you know what's possible. We've expanded your frame of reference. Now let's work out what you really need. Years ago, I had a business with a couple of partners, and we would go in and build accounting practices. And we would teach the accounting practices how to get business advisory work. And the way to do that, to get them to ask questions, to build rapport with the client, was to say, basically, here's what we're going to do. We're going to have two sessions with you. The first session is going to be, we're going to ask a whole bunch of questions. We're going to really explore where you're at, what's going on, where you want to get to, and what you're trying to achieve. We're also going to show you what's possible. And then from there, we're going to get together in another 7 to 10 days, no longer than that, and we're going to come up with an action plan together. And here's the important piece. We'll come with our recommendations, and at the same time, we want you to write down all of the ahas and the things that you came up with that you believe that you really would like. And so by doing that, the accountant and their client came together, and quite often they were able to get into the sort of business advisory work they really wanted to get into, and essentially get paid to put the proposal together, which is, you know, powerful within itself. So here's the thing. I'm with you. If you're like me, I don't like selling, but I really like helping people to buy something that's appropriate for them. I really enjoy helping people go from what they perceive they need to look through the eyes of the expert to discover what they really need, to show them what's possible so that they can really end up with what they really want. Hope this has been helpful. If you would like some help with putting together a sales process that really works for you, that is based on questions and helps you really get into the sort of work that you really want to get into, then go to businessgrowthstrategies.biz, set up a call with me. There's a button on that page. There's a video to talk about how we work together. It's only short, it's about 6 minutes. And there's a calendar there. You can just book a time. It's a 15-minute conversation. We'll see whether we're a right fit and whether we can help you or not. And if we can, then we'll potentially do a strategy session with you, which is all free, complimentary. And then from there, if you decide that we're a right fit and we can work together, then we'll go from there. Have a great day. So businessgrowthstrategies.biz. Thanks very much.